Hi folks, here's your fleeting view for the week ahead in association with Petzl. A relatively straightforward looking chart to start the new week. We have high pressure centred just to the east of us, a general southerly airflow across the British Isles. That's quite gusty, those winds across some of the mountains, and not just on the highest slopes, even through some of the elevated passes and downslope to the lee of some higher summits. There'll be some strong gusts, especially in west and northwest Scotland. The complication comes on Monday in terms of areas of low cloud and some fog, which will shroud some lower hill slopes, whilst most highest tops will exist above an inversion. And further north and east that you go across Scotland, it may well be just a largely sunny day. This model chart shows some of the extent of that cloud. It's shown in white, and where we've got the darker, blacker colours, that's where there's the clearer sky shown here, and even across a good part of Wales there are clear skies to be found. Low cloud and fog banks toward the south and east around the Brecon Beacons and the Black Mountains may well take a few hours to lift and break. Also around the Peak District too could be some low cloud banks that are lingering around. One or two of the highest tops may poke just above. The South Lakeland, Dumfries and Galloway and coastal regions up to about Mull and Skye could well have some of those low cloud banks here, with some of the highest tops, as I say, poking through above. But further north and east, as mentioned, lots of sunshine should be found, and generally across England and Wales that low cloud and fog tending to thin and break and disperse more as you go through the afternoon. A similar sort of story into Tuesday, but a little bit more dampness moving in across western Scotland. So thicker low cloud here may shroud the hills more extensively, and drizzle coming in to be fairly persistent, although not amounting to too much in total. Further inland away from the west coast, broadly dry, with some cloud coming in to shroud some of the hills around the central highlands, but once more further north and east largely in the clear. Still some very gusty winds to be found once more, and those tending to strengthen across more western mountains in Scotland. For England and Wales, we're still in the sort of inversion situation where there will be some low cloud and fog banks and some sunshine around as well through the day, and still quite gusty in one or two places. Changes develop through midweek as a rather complex series of fronts comes in from the Atlantic. Initially a cold front will see a lowering of temperature and freezing level down towards around 900 metres, especially in Scotland. So some rain that comes in will turn to snow on the Munros, and some snow or some hail showers possible following that across west and northwestern parts of Scotland. That might later in the day though merge back into some steadier rain or some upland sleet or snow. Bit of uncertainty for timing on that front crossing England and Wales, possibly a belt of rain, maybe just some sleet or wet snow on the high tops. Some brighter skies could push in from the west as we go through Wednesday afternoon. Some rather blustery winds, the speeds may vary through the day, at times touching gale force. Thursday's chart is quite uncertain. There's the dregs of further fronts just moving their way eastwards across Britain. Now these may just amount to small amounts of rain or some sleet or wet snow in places on the higher tops, with areas of low cloud rather extensive, possibly across the Highlands though, maybe just in a relative gap in the weather pattern with just a few localised showers with some snow on the higher tops. Temperatures close to freezing point then across the Munros, above around 800 to 900 metres or so. That might just lift a touch during the day. Eventually some milder air coming back in from the southwest as the next warm front arrives. Friday looks a generally windier day with the risk of extensive upland gales, and milder air coming in from the southwest, looking well above freezing point over the hills by this stage. The risk of some persistent rain in western Scotland as well. Some low cloud, fairly extensive and drizzly elsewhere across most western hills. The whole sequence of weather will continue to move through. It could be that some chillier air starts to come back in from the west by the weekend. That timing is uncertain, so watch the forecasts at this stage. Those 3-day outlooks for your area can be found on our website. That is your fleeting view in association with Petzl.